See. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to 3 Ways to Retain Your Postpartum Patience. I'm a prenatal and pediatric chiropractor. My name is Dr. Ksenia Gershberg. I'm also a birth doula and a mom of two. I was trained in Los Angeles by Dr. Elliot Berlin, spent my internship there, but also worked alongside of him. Many of you probably know him from the Informed Pregnancy podcast and really being an advocate for moms during birth. So I'm excited to share these ways with you. All eyes are usually on the mom during pregnancy, but when it comes to postpartum, there is a huge gap, and we prenatal chiropractors really need to fill this void by supporting our pregnant moms and educating them on the importance of care throughout the fourth trimester. Just yesterday, I had a mom that I saw during pregnancy, and she came back after birth to see me for a couple of weeks. And, she's been complaining of some issues because she had a complicated birth, a retained placenta. And so she really wanted to see her OB for the 6-week checkup. And they refused. They just said it's going to be virtual. But she said she needs a physical exam just to make sure that everything's okay with her body. And if she did not come to see me and, tell me this story, she wouldn't have had the care that she needed. I told her, go and advocate for yourself and ask for an appointment so you can get checked, because if you're feeling off right now, this is really important to make sure that you get checked in person. And so she did advocate for herself, and she scheduled an appointment for next week in person. But what if I wasn't there holding her hand and guiding her and telling her that she needs to speak up? Huge gap. And she told me about how great the pregnancy care was, but not postpartum. I remember myself when I first was pregnant with my first, and after having him, I called my OB. I was like, something's wrong with my body. And they're like, wait 6 weeks, we'll see you then. And, so there's this huge gap, and moms are left without care. And we really need to help and support them and make sure that we are there for them. And so these stories really fill my office walls. There's so many of them, and it really breaks my heart hearing all of this. Moms more than ever need us now. I have moms breaking down and crying on my table, wishing that they found me sooner and not a year later. They really didn't understand what the fourth trimester entailed. They scream for help daily, but no one hears them except us. We have a huge job to do, and it's time to close this gap. I know you are here today because you want to know how to help these moms. I'm here for the moms who suffer, the ones who don't have enough resources and support, the ones who can't walk because of postpartum challenges, the ones who have been robbed of holding their babies because they are experiencing postpartum issues, the ones who feel like they aren't heard. I'm here because that is how my story started. I was one of those moms. In 2013, I had my son in the middle of chiropractic school, first out of all my friends, really not understanding what motherhood entailed, yet alone postpartum. I literally had to go across the street after giving birth to get all my postpartum supplies. That's how not unprepared I was the first time around. And the second time around, even though I thought that I was ready, I was not ready for postpartum at all. And I didn't know what I know today. I had to relearn how to walk during my second postpartum with my daughter. And I promised that I would not let any other moms suffer like this again. So we really have a mission as prenatal chiropractors. These are my kiddos. I call them my inspiration, because really I started off wanting to be a sports chiropractor. And when I got pregnant with my first, I realized there's so many resources lacking for moms. And I really wanted to help others understand that we need to provide these resources and really close that gap. So I wanted to share with you today what I learned early in practice, and how you can not only change your patients' lives, but also yours, by retaining your moms throughout postpartum. I mean, how many of you ask moms what their fourth trimester plan is? We always talk about what the birth plan is with the mom, but we never ask them, what are they going to do in the fourth trimester? What is their support system? Who are they going to lean on when they, are having any troubles or issues? We need to help guide our pregnant moms and stop having them disappear from our care. Reality is that postpartum is not full of bliss, right? This is not how we look, going out of postpartum. Postpartum is hard for us, for moms. And this true story really needs to get out there and bring awareness. So, number one way is to become an expert in your community, to share your knowledge and why chiropractic is so critical during postpartum. And you cannot wait until they're postpartum to teach them about this. You have to teach this in the beginning when they come join your practice, when they're pregnant. And remind moms. I tell moms all the time, I tell them, right now you're coming to see me for low back pain. In postpartum, you're going to have nursing neck. You're going to sit all day and look at your beautiful baby stuck in that flexion all day long, and you're going to have some pain. And as baby grows and gets bigger, you will also have some pain because you're carrying the baby all the time. So really focusing on teaching them how to prevent this pain, how to make sure that they thrive throughout postpartum is really essential, and preventing the postnatal depletion. And we'll talk a little bit more about what that is. But really teaching your moms, like I really love using this picture on day 2 when I do a report of findings and teaching them about their body. So what you can do is do like a little quick PowerPoint, show them and teach them, this is what your body looks like now. You have incorrect posture. This really affects baby's position, and this will really affect birth, right? And it can affect postpartum if you don't get the proper care. So let's get you focused on thriving, having a great birth, but also let's support you throughout postpartum so we can help you with all these issues. Be the answer and offer the solution. So prepare moms so they know what to expect during that postpartum. I have this conversation all the time with my moms, and I ask them, are you ready for postpartum? And most of them say no. They don't know that they're supposed to prepare. And in Eastern culture, actually, moms are not let outside for 40 days. And they actually say how you spend the first 40 days after birth is how you're going to spend the next 40 years of health. So you want to make sure you're setting your moms up to thrive during postpartum so they feel good. They are the foundation of the family. I teach them they are having to take care of themselves because they're the foundation. If they're going to be 100%, the baby's going to be 100%. If they are not, they cannot care for the baby. And let's talk a little bit about postnatal depletion because education is really important to teach these moms what to watch out for. So postnatal depletion is having nutritional insufficiencies, and this can result from pregnancy, right? Baby is taking what baby wants and leaving moms depleted. And this can continue into postpartum. So we want to prevent it. We need to stop it. Start it in the pregnancy, make sure we're taking good care of them then, and then teach them that they still need to be on supplements and, their foundations during that 4th trimester. Sometimes I have moms come in and their labs look great, but they're still having symptoms. So this postnatal depletion, their labs are actually suboptimal. So it's not like catching it. And a lot of postpartum moms are not tested. They're not screened. There's no lab tests going on during the postpartum period. So we need to start screening these moms, doing lab tests because there's so many different hormonal imbalances that can be happening to these moms. So making sure that we're helping them and prevent this cascade of events that are, that taking place. So what postnatal depletion may look like, just so you know, and you can be aware of it. It's that wired and tired, low libido, hormone imbalances, poor memory, irritability, afternoon fatigue. So that's like that 3 p.m. crash where like they're grabbing the coffee or they're grabbing the sugar. They need like more energy. And what happens is if they have a baby that has reflux or colic, and they're drinking that coffee, that coffee will be affecting that baby. So it's a vicious cycle where mom's tired because baby's not sleeping, because baby has reflux, but mom needs the coffee. And so it's like this cycle. But what if we give moms this opportunity, this chance not to get there? What if they have more energy from having a good nutritional diet, from having great supplements? What if we give them that foundation so they don't have to be depleted? And so teaching moms during pregnancy these techniques and methods can help in the postpartum period, and you'll be their guide. They'll want to come back. And then, so I said cravings, acne, increased illness, they're getting sick a lot, and difficulty waking up in the morning. Even if they've had like a 7 to 8 hour of sleep, it's hard for them to get up. They're kind of like feeling groggy. These postnatal depletion symptoms don't have to just be right at postpartum. They can last for years. So just checking in with our moms and making sure that they're thriving. Easy ways is to offer herbal solutions, give them the supplement foundations, remind them, get them back to the basics. Like, are you still hydrated? Are you still drinking double of your body weight in water? Are you, still taking your prenatals, your omegas? Because some moms will slip off. Some moms won't know that they still have to take their prenatal supplements. So making sure that you're reminding them of the basics, opening up that conversation, and really having that superfood nutrition in there so they can really thrive. And laying the groundwork for them during pregnancy will really help them, and they'll be looking out for you as their guide, their resource, and their support system. Pelvic floor exercises are really important during pregnancy and postpartum. This is something that I find is a huge gap. A lot of moms are having a lot of pelvic floor issues. So if we start them during the pregnancy period and we teach them, they need to come back so we can help navigate these pelvic floor exercises in that postpartum period. So really giving them that solution to help them. For nutrition, there's herbs for healing, depletion, anxiety, herbs for breastfeeding or supplements. So I really love Mammary PMG from Standard Process to help moms increase good supply. And I always practice what I preach in the office. So I only recommend things that I've done. But Mammary PMG has been a lifesaver for myself and for many of my moms. So if they're having some supply issues, that is one thing that you can help them with. Bone broth is really great, super easy to make if they have an Instant Pot at home. They can even make it during, pregnancy. Teach them, you need to prepare this during pregnancy, freeze it, so then when you're postpartum, you have it. Eggs are an important nutritional source. In Eastern medicine, they say to eat 10 eggs a day in the first month of postpartum, especially if you're breastfeeding. B vitamins and collagen is great for joints and healing and recovery during the postpartum. So there's solutions that you can help guide them and give them, and they will love you for giving these all resources for them and understanding how to help them during postpartum. Common herbs that I recommend in office is ashwagandha. So ashwagandha is an adaptogen. It's really great for fourth trimester healing. If the moms are feeling overwhelmed, tired, exhausted, it's really great. Of course, make sure that you're checking in if they're on any prescriptions, or checking in with how they feel on these herbs. Don't just give them out, but these are some common ones that you can help with. St. John's wort is great for if any moms are experiencing depression, but make sure they're not on prescription antidepressants because it could really affect them. Adrenal complex from Standard Process I like because it's helpful with adrenal fatigue. So the moms who are grabbing for that coffee, they're hitting that adrenal fatigue stage 2. So really nourishing those adrenals, making sure that those adrenals don't go into overdrive. And Jemima, I really like. It's great for those sugar cravings. I've used it for my mom's. Something simple, just giving them information on herbal sitz bath. A lot of moms don't know. I just had this conversation yesterday with my patient. I'm like, she's a first time mom. And I'm like, are you ready? Do you have your herbs? She's like, what herbs? Why do I need herbs? So you have to provide them with this information and be that resource for them. So, and, you know, oftentimes moms don't like the sitz bath aspect of it. So, you can teach them that they can put the herbs into a peri bottle and use it that way, which makes it more efficient and easier for them. So giving them the tips. Really, really empowering moms. That is why my practice is called Empowered Mama Chiropractic, is because I really focus on empowering moms so you can help advocate for them. What we do in practice is really instill different methods where they can use to help them during pregnancy and then postpartum. So a worry journal is a great way to kind of have them write down their fears and what they're afraid of. I tell them write down 3 fears at the end of the day before they go to sleep, so it's not just floating in their head and they can have a good night's sleep. And then one great thing that happened that day. Kindness journal is great. It really puts smiles on my patients' faces and really focuses on kindness throughout the day. What kindness did they do that day? Epsom salt baths are really great for healing. I use them for pregnant moms, and then they know to use that technique during postpartum after the 6 to 8 weeks that they heal. And then teaching them the techniques of self-time. So I ask my moms during pregnancy, what is that one thing that you love to do during, while they're pregnant? What's that one thing? And like a lot of my moms love podcasts or they love reading books. And so I say, okay, well, we're going to take that one thing and we're going to carry it over for the 4th trimester. So you have that one thing that you love and you still have it and you get that self-time, whether it's 15 minutes to listen to a podcast, to read a book. You have to make sure that you create that self-time, because a lot of the times moms go through this self-identity loss during the 4th trimester. So this will kind of help them get a little tiny break. And reminding them relationships really matter during postpartum. Had a mom that was a mom of 2 under 2. And so she really had a hard time with the relationship. And I taught her the basics, what about date nights? Let's go back and, try to squeeze in some date nights. And, she really felt better after that. And refueling and replenishing their mind, their heart, and soul. So just really empowering them and getting them ready with the knowledge before they give birth, so they are aware of the techniques that they can use during the 4th trimester. So bringing number 2, educate them through automation. I know that we as chiropractors don't have all the time in the world to sit and educate our moms, so we can do it through automation. So one way that I do it is I do include it in my 2nd day when I do the report of findings. I do take time to talk about postpartum prep work during this time. So I'm giving them a glimpse of what education I want them to have for the 4th trimester. I talk to them about chiropractic and postpartum. I talk to them a little bit about stretches and exercises and really about how they can nourish their body in that 4th trimester. So it gives them a brief overview. And then you can also teach them, depending on your office visits, teach them a little bit during the adjustments when you're taking care of them. Just give them like simple bullet points. I do have a whiteboard, so I do put a lot of things up there so they can see that and they can read that and they can ask me any questions that they have. So we have that open conversation and they feel comfortable. And setting up an email system, or you can just, record a video that you send out to your patients so they have a little bit of education about why chiropractic is so important during the 4th trimester. And also on my 2nd day, I tell them about the importance of pediatric chiropractic care. A lot of my moms are in shock. They didn't know that babies need to get checked after they are born. And I teach them that birth is a traumatic experience either way that they give birth. So telling them and educating them is really important, and that's going to help them come back during that postpartum period. I used to, before the pandemic hit, this is my old office, but I used to teach moms postpartum prep. So we used to have a little workshop for pregnant moms, and it was more of a conversation. I did have a guide that we went through. You could see below, it's called the Empowered Mama Guide to Your First Days, 14 Days Postpartum. I chose 14 because a lot of the times moms won't give me 40 days. They'll give me only 14 days to stay in bed. They refuse to do the whole, and I understand our society is not set up for that. So I encourage them to stay in bed for 14 days, but we have these conversations, and I hope that one day we can bring them back. But you can do something like this virtual, right? It's so much easier to do it virtual. It doesn't have to be long. You can, do something fun for them and encourage them to talk during it too, because I had new moms, and then I had moms that were, pregnant with their second or third. And it was nice to have that conversation where they would help each other and, talk about their different experiences. So really, really giving the tools and resources for moms during pregnancy is really going to help them and encourage them to come back to you in the postpartum time. We do postnatal depletion screening. So screening moms during pregnancy and then again during postpartum is really important. When I first was initially doing this, I realized that my visits for postpartum had to be a little bit longer for follow-ups because I needed to take that time to reconnect with moms again, ask them about how birth went, really, really having that connection. Versus, just quick adjustment and out. So I really started to focus on reconnecting with them and encourage them. And that way they can tell you about how birth is, how they're doing, and you can check in with them, how their support system is, how they're feeling, and all of that, and really creating that safe space where they can talk. Postnatal depletion survey. So I have a sample of it. It's about 17 questions, and I can email this. I know that all of you registered with your emails, so I can email this survey for you to have, and you can use it in the office with your moms. And at the end, it's, it shows the score, what score that mom got, and if they're above a certain score, then they are postnatal depleted. And you want to make sure that you're seeing them as a whole, you're giving them that nutritional support, that chiropractic support, and really engaging with them. So number 3 is to create that safe space for moms to have that open conversation, welcome those conversations if they're having a hard time. I always tell moms, like, you are HIPAA protected here. I'm not going to share anything with anybody. So it's a really safe space for you, and you can share anything you want with me. And encourage these conversations with them. Know that they can lean on you and you can be their guide. And then I always love to make it fun in the office. So I brought in a funny tool to the office. So we do postpartum cupping. And this set is like heart-shaped cupping. So moms are just loving it. And they get to lay there, for a little bit and take a short nap while they're getting cupping. So it's a fun way to encourage moms and promote healing for them. So most importantly, hold them and create a safe space where they can laugh and where they can cry. Really create that space for the mom so they know that they can come back to you. You're their resource for postpartum. You're the one that helped them prep for postpartum, and they could really count on you. 78% of autoimmune disease sufferers are women. I see a lot of moms, most of my moms come in with thyroid issues. Hashimoto's is the most prevalent, and we need to change these statistics. And we can start changing it by, giving them great chiropractic care, nutrition, all of these services. 1 in 4 women experience an extended time of major depression in her life. these are really, really big statistics, and we really need to change these numbers. I see moms all the time breaking down, like I said, and we can change that. And I appreciate you listening and being here today. Thank you for wanting to make a difference and really trying to change the fourth trimester and making a huge, huge, significant change for these moms. My name is Dr. Ksenia Gershberg, and I'm a prenatal and pediatric chiropractor. I've developed and created the fourth trimester plan. And basically think of automation for your moms for the fourth trimester. So if you have any questions about that, you can always email me at fourthtrimesterplan@gmail.com. But I'm really passionate about helping moms worldwide really getting the care that they need during this fourth trimester. And we as chiropractors, we're going to fill this void. We're going to fill this gap, and we're really going to make this difference. So I'm super excited, and I'm hoping my fourth trimester podcast is going to be starting and launching soon. So I hope that it'll be available for you soon to listen. And I'm going to stop right now to see if anybody has any questions. And, if you're listening to this recording and you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer by email. So you can always email me. But I'm going to wait a couple of minutes to see if anybody has questions. And I hope this was very useful. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining in. I really appreciate it.